Hello and welcome back to DCS Debrief, now part of the Air Warfare Group. I'm very excited to have been invited to join the team here, and my first task is to complete the BFM series that has been in progress since early 2020. So without further ado, let's get into Defensive BFM. Just a reminder then, I'm not a fighter pilot. These presentations are not authoritative, but information inferred from my own professional air warfare experience where it's relevant, directly referenced official but open source literature, and anecdotal information from people who know these topics as their profession. It's presented for critique and to add to the overall body of information on the topic of air combat in simulation games like DCS World. Like many tactics, techniques and procedures, application differs in key areas between the game and real life, and as such these presentations are only relevant to the game. I hope you enjoy it. If you've watched the Defensive BFM series, then you'll know how to quickly and efficiently kill the bandit as long as you find yourself in their 6 o'clock and just outside their turn circle. We must also assume that it is possible for the bandit to get the drop on us and arrive at our turn circle before they are detected. When this happens, we need to have good mutual support from our wingman, work together to kill the bandit quickly and efficiently. And I'll talk about that later on in the air combat maneuvering series. To give our wingman time to engage, though, we must understand how to defend ourselves. This series will cover the essentials of Defensive BFM that you need in order to survive. It's worth saying up front that there is no magic here. If you're 1v1 and defensive, then your options are limited. But if the bandit makes mistakes, then you need to know how to capitalize on them. This series will explain the principles of Defensive BFM, show the common pictures that the bandit will present you with, and explain how to best maneuver to make the most of these scenarios. By the end of this video, you'll understand the principles of Defensive BFM, and this series will explain how to apply them. This presentation will also cover some of the rules of thumb that will allow you to reduce your thinking time. We've defined all the terms we need for now during the Offensive BFM series, so I'm going to start by talking about the underlying tenets of Defensive BFM in order of priority. Remember that the bandit is after a quick kill, whereas you are just trying to survive, so you've got to be in it for the long game. However, it's also worth noting that whenever the bandit makes an unsuccessful attack, it is likely to grant you the opportunity to build energy. Defensive BFM relies 100% on recognizing bandit errors and rapidly exploiting these errors. Minor errors will buy you some time. Major errors may allow you to neutralize or escape. Only a fatal error from the bandit will allow you to gain the upper hand. Recognize that this is unlikely, even with an inexperienced bandit. With this in mind, the tenets that I apply to Defensive BFM are 1. Avoid the deck. Defensive fights go downhill fast, so avoiding flying into the ground is going to require a lot of attention once you're at the deck. 2. Stay tally. Without sight of the bandit, you can't react to their moves or defend yourself. I can't emphasize this enough. 3. Max perform your aircraft. Any easing of performance will give the bandit angles or energy, but there may be opportunities for you to build energy at some points, and I will talk about these as we go through. And these are simple tasks that may seem obvious, but it's easy to forget in the heat of a defensive fight. Most of your early errors will involve them in some way or another, so look out for them in your TAC view debriefs and practice. You will soon find yourself able to apply these tenets instinctively. More complex, though, are the correct responses to bandit maneuvers. In order to understand how to fly your own aircraft, it's necessary to understand the geometry problems and how the bandits' attempts to solve their problem will make them appear to you. Now, you already understand some offensive fundamentals, so you have a grasp of what problems and options the bandit has. This series will expand a little on the geometry, but mainly focus on how the bandits' attempts to fly good BFM will make their aircraft look from your cockpit. These pictures will provide you with a cue to conduct the appropriate defensive maneuver, and this series will go into some depth on this topic, but the rules of thumb are: firstly, if the bandit nose is coming on, increase your pull. Secondly, if you can't hold their nose off, then redefine the fight. And finally, it's better to miss an overshoot opportunity than take one that didn't exist in the first place. If in doubt, don't reverse. While I'll cover appropriate responses to bandit maneuvers, it's important to acknowledge that if you find yourself defensive, you are by nature at a disadvantage. Therefore, it's important to recognize some uncomfortable truths about your situation. 1. Your likely best outcome from a defensive position is to escape. 2. There is no magic maneuver to reverse the fight. And 3, the bandit can afford to make more mistakes than you can. Recognizing these truths will help protect you from trying to get too much out of a losing situation. While an aggressive mindset is important, so too is recognizing when escape is your best possible outcome. Defensive BFM is a necessity, and it's important to remember that even if you are in the best fighter in the world, a bandit can still end up with the advantage. Your objectives are 1. Stay tally. 2. Increase bandit time to kill. 3. Neutralize the fight if possible. There is no set method of fulfilling these objectives, but this video series will provide you with a few cues, reactions, and rules of thumb to help you understand what is happening and fulfill these objectives. It will provide you with the knowledge you need in order to recognize fight geometry from the cockpit, as well as the actions necessary to defend against a well-flown bandit and exploit any errors, and how to redefine the fight if a change in geometry will suit your aircraft type. The truth is that the bandit doesn't have to fly as well as you to kill you once you're defensive, because their errors are only likely to result in a missed shot, whereas yours could well deliver you into the bandit weapon employment zone. Any bandit errors must quickly and accurately be identified, and your exploitation of them must be correct and aggressively flown without hesitation. In order to do any of this, you must be able to see the bandit. Staying tally is essential. Success in defensive BFM means prolonging the fight, and this means you will end up on the deck. With no more height to use, your energy will be rapidly depleted. Therefore, this series will also cover how to efficiently transition to a level fight at the deck and how to fight at low energy states. Finally, it will cover how to take fleeting opportunity gunshots, known as snapshots, which may be the only chance you get to kill the bandit. I will explain some training setups that you can use to practice these shots until you are proficient, and how to defend against them. Defensive BFM is hard work. You'll need to fly accurately, sometimes at the limits of control, in order to generate the best performance from your aircraft, and most of the time you'll be looking over your shoulder. You will also need to be able to recognize various cues and instinctively respond to them in order to get the best from what is already a bad situation. Recognition of these cues depends on you seeing them, so you must keep tally. Learning these cues and their implications will take time. Muscle memory, like Rome, isn't built in a day. Think yourself lucky that you're only going to be doing this at 1G. So if you need to, jump into DCS and refresh yourself on offensive BFM, and maybe look back over the offensive BFM series. Remember that now these are things that the bandit is going to be doing and thinking about. And I'll see you back here soon to talk about how the defensive fight starts and how to assess the bandit's first moves.